I mean, my daughter has been absolutely wonderful with all these charities and takes a huge interest. So they were all telling me anyway about what a difference she makes. And I know how seriously she takes it all. But she does have a wonderful way with people. So that's the special thing, I think. I mean, she's remarkable, really. And find out their life's history in a very quick, short time.
Something unreal just happened behind the walls of the Vatican, and barely anyone saw it coming. On May 15, 2025, King Charles III met with Pope Leo XIV, the newly elected head of the Catholic Church, formerly known as Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost, in a private summit that's already being called historic. But the real shocker, a personal blessing for Princess Catherine, one that insiders say crowned her, spiritually, as the Unity Monarch. That title's been whispered quietly in royal circles for years, and now it's echoing around the world. Nobody expected this. Two of the most powerful men in religion and royalty, both visibly moved to tears during the meeting. And it wasn't staged. It wasn't about photo ops or press releases. This was something raw, something sacred. Because, Catherine, she's different. It's not just the grace or the perfect wardrobe. It's how she makes people feel seen. From world leaders to working-class families, she connects like it's second nature. And that sincerity? It's rare. This moment inside the Vatican wasn't about politics or protocol. It was about legacy, about hope, and about a woman who's quietly becoming the face of modern monarchy. Sources close to the palace say the meeting nearly didn't happen at all. But now, royal watchers are calling it a turning point. Not just for the crown, but for global faith. King Charles, as the supreme governor of the Church of England, stood face-to-face with Pope Leo XIV, the freshly chosen leader of over 1 billion Catholics, for the very first time. Pope Leo XIV had only just taken the mantle, elected on May 1, 2025, just days after Pope Francis passed on April 21st. But even in those early weeks, he brought a whole new energy to the Vatican. American-born, deeply spiritual, yet unafraid to challenge the status quo, this pope wasn't wasting any time. When he welcomed King Charles and Queen Camilla to the Casa Santa Marta, it wasn't some over-the-top royal affair. This was a stripped-down, deeply personal meeting. No thrones, no gold, just purpose. And right in the middle of it all, Catherine. Her name came up with weight. They didn't just talk about her, they honored her. And the vibe? Emotional, heavy, sacred. It wasn't about protocol. It was about two global figures recognizing something rare in one woman. This wasn't just history. It was a moment of alignment. Charles, who spent years pushing for interfaith unity, and Pope Leo, whose mission is to heal deep divides around the world. Both looked at Catherine and saw something powerful, a woman who could stand above the noise, above the politics, a symbol of unity in a time where everything feels broken. They didn't crown her with jewels. They called her something even more powerful, the Unity Monarch, a title based not on royal privilege, but purpose. And it broke Charles. His voice cracked talking about her. You could see it, the pride, the pain, the hope. And this is just the start, because to understand why she earned that blessing, you've got to rewind. From the moment she stepped into royal life, Catherine's been more than just a duchess or a princess. She's been a mother, a fighter, and a survivor. Her battle with cancer in 2024 and her stunning remission, that changed everything. She didn't just survive. She came back stronger, and the world noticed. But what really sets Catherine apart? It's not the speeches or the royal tours. It's the quiet moments no one tells her to do. Like kneeling down at a charity event just to talk to a nervous child, or sharing that silent, steady glance with William in a room full of cameras. Those tiny, unplanned acts, they hit different. Fans eat it up, and not because it's polished. It's because it's real. Like the way she fixed Charlotte's hair during a royal appearance, didn't care about the cameras, just made sure her daughter looked okay. Or that warm, grounding smile she gave a visibly anxious guest at a palace event. That's not training. That's just who she is. And that's the kind of energy you can't fake. It doesn't need diamonds or titles. Catherine's power is in how she makes people feel. Seen, safe, important. It's why Charles, who's quietly watched her rise from the sidelines, now calls her my cherished daughter-in-law. And that's not some casual line. That's trust at the highest level. But what went down at the Vatican? That surpassed trust. It became something spiritual. This wasn't just a polite meeting between leaders. It was a deep, soul-level pact. Charles and Pope Leo XIV sat together and spoke about a world unraveling. Wars in Ukraine and Gaza, people turning on each other, communities breaking apart. They didn't talk politics, they talked purpose. And in Catherine, they saw a bridge, someone who leads with compassion, not control. And then came a moment no one saw coming. The Pope placed his hands on a photograph of Catherine that Charles had carried with him, a private blessing. No audience, no ceremony. Just a sacred moment that insiders say left even Camilla wiping away tears. Why her? Because while the world claps for the princess in gowns and tiaras, it's the grounded woman underneath, the one who's walked through fire and still smiles with grace. Catherine walks a rare line, modern but still deeply tied to tradition, relatable but still commands respect the second she enters a room. From mental health to early childhood support, to speaking up about cancer, her efforts have touched millions. And when it comes to faith, she's rooted in the Church of England, but she moves with openness. She's attended Catholic services beside William and built real bridges with leaders across belief systems. That's exactly why she was the only real choice for the title now making waves behind palace doors, the Unity Monarch. Now let's get into it. The heart of this Vatican moment. Insiders are starting to whisper a new phrase, the Vatican Pact. And no, this wasn't about treaties or official papers. There was nothing written down. But that doesn't make it any less powerful. This was a mutual commitment, sealed in spirit, not ink. Charles and Pope Leo XIV both agreed. Catherine would step into a new kind of role, not just as future queen, but as something even bigger, a global emissary for unity, a figure who could represent peace, empathy, and connection in a world breaking apart at the seams. There's never been a role like this before. It blends symbolism with something deeply human. And whether Catherine knew it or not, she's been preparing for this her whole life. The meeting only lasted 25 minutes, but insiders say every second mattered. Pope Leo, still adjusting to his new post, brought that same Chicago energy. Calm, steady, real. And when he spoke of Catherine, he didn't just praise her, he honored her. He talked about her strength, her kindness, and her ability to touch people across lines others are too scared to cross. Charles didn't hold back. When it came time to speak on Catherine, his words hit hard. He shared quiet moments, the way she's helped young Charlotte navigate royal life, how she's been William's rock during personal storms, and the warmth she's brought into their family. It wasn't just father-in-law pride, it was a king recognizing a future icon. And then came the traditional exchange of gifts. But these weren't just polite gestures, these were loaded with meaning. Charles handed Pope Leo XIV a handcrafted wooden cross, carved from sustainably sourced oak, a subtle but powerful nod to their shared passion for the environment. Every detail was intentional. But Pope Leo's gift? It cut even deeper. A small medallion engraved with Saint Francis, the beloved saint of peace and humility, and a tribute to the late Pope Francis. That little token spoke volumes. But the real gift, the one that left a mark, was the blessing. This wasn't just a formality. It was something bigger. A spiritual endorsement that seemed to heal centuries of division between the British monarchy and the Catholic Church. And at the heart of that unity, Catherine. She didn't ask for this role, but she's becoming the living bridge between faiths, traditions, and generations. And while fans obsess over her style and public moments, the logistics of her daily life say just as much. Royal watchers are always digging, like the cars she chooses. During her cancer recovery, she was often seen in a Range Rover, tinted windows giving her space to heal. For state duties, she rolls in the Bentley State Limousine, tradition at its finest. But here's the twist. Insiders are whispering that she's now eyeing a Tesla Model X. Why? It's electric, clean, and aligns perfectly with Charles's push for a greener monarchy. Now, let's talk about the real turning points. The emotional milestones that built Catherine into the woman she is today. Because every transformation leaves a mark, and her rise to being called the Unity Monarch, that didn't come from photo ops or royal privilege. It came from a lifetime of quiet, powerful moments that shaped her from the inside out. Remember her early days? Just Kate Middleton, a young woman stepping into a royal world with the eyes of the world glued to her every move. No one knew then she'd become a global symbol of strength. But the signs? They were always there. Go back to 2011, her very first solo engagement at a cancer charity in Lancashire. She wasn't there to smile and wave. She listened, deeply. Her questions weren't scripted. They came from the heart. Her empathy? Undeniable. People who were there that day still say it felt different. That was the moment Catherine stopped being the future queen and started becoming the heart of the monarchy. Then came the big milestones, each one adding a new layer to her journey. Her wedding to William in 2011 wasn't just a royal spectacle. It was a public vow to a life of service. The births of George in 2013, Charlotte in 2015, and Louis in 2018 didn't just solidify her place in the royal line. They rooted her in the raw, joyful, chaotic reality of motherhood. And she didn't hide behind palace walls. She's been spotted doing school drop-offs in an Audi Q7, laughing with her kids like any other mom. No royal motorcade, no pomp. Just a woman juggling life, love, and responsibility like the rest of us. But then came 2024. Her cancer diagnosis changed everything. The pressure, the fear, the headlines, it all came crashing down. And yet, she held it together. She faced it all with grace. No theatrics, no self-pity. When Catherine shared her cancer journey in a raw, emotional video, it shook people to their core. Her words were real, vulnerable, human. And when her remission was announced in January 2025, it wasn't just a medical win. It was a global moment of relief and inspiration. But Catherine's story isn't only told in battle scars, it's in the way she's carried herself through life's biggest moments. At Queen Elizabeth II's funeral in 2022, she didn't break under pressure. She became a pillar, gently guiding Princess Charlotte through the waves of royal grief. No words needed, just calm, steady presence. Fast forward to the 2023 Chelsea Flower Show. Surrounded by tradition and formality, Catherine knelt in the grass to speak to school children. She turned a stiff royal event into something warm, human, and unforgettable. Then came her big return to the spotlight, Australia. Late 2024, her first major trip since recovery. She didn't just show up, she delivered a message of healing, of strength, of hope. The crowd gave her a standing ovation. And what did she arrive in? A sleek electric Jaguar I-Pace, a clean nod to progress and Charles's environmental push. Subtle, but powerful. But behind the scenes, that's where the real Catherine lives. Close friends say she keeps a journal, writing down heartfelt lessons for her kids, notes of love, wisdom, and encouragement they'll someday treasure. She plans every engagement with purpose, but always leaves room for the magic, like those impromptu chats with fans outside the gate. During recovery, she stuck with the Range Rover, not for status, but for comfort and privacy. Every decision, thought out, intentional. Catherine's no accidental icon. She's strategic and soulful, living in that rare space between royal duty and real-world humanity. And through it all, her quiet faith, the steady thread behind every move, still rooted in the Church of England. She's shown up in spaces where royalty rarely treads. Catholic masses, interfaith gatherings, private spiritual retreats. Her respect? Unshakable. In 2023, while on a visit to Wales, she slipped away to pray alone in a quiet countryside chapel. No cameras, no press, just Catherine, searching for strength far from the spotlight. Moments like that, sacred, silent, deeply human, are the bricks that built her new identity, the Unity Monarch. This title isn't just poetic fluff. It's a statement, a vision of what the monarchy can be, and where it's heading under King Charles III. The crown isn't clinging to outdated customs anymore. It's evolving, shedding layers of stiff tradition and stepping into something bolder, realer. At the heart of this transformation, Catherine, the Princess of Wales. She's not waiting for a throne. She's already rewriting the role, not with scandal or noise, but with purpose and quiet revolution. Royal watchers aren't just calling her the future queen. They're calling her the bridge, the living link between the old world and the new. And that impact, it's only growing. Look at what she's done through the Royal Foundation, especially around mental health. Her outreach has hit places most royals never touch. Schools, shelters, even digital communities. And then there's Shaping Us, the early childhood campaign that Catherine personally championed. It's not just raising awareness, it's shifting the conversation. Teachers, psychologists, and even policy experts have called it game-changing, revolutionary, something the monarchy has never done before. This isn't just about policy papers and press releases, it's about real connection. Catherine has a gift that can't be taught, the ability to truly listen. Whether she's speaking with parents at a London school or logging into a global summit with mental health experts, her empathy lands. She's not checking boxes. She's building bridges. And that's what makes her the Unity Monarch in action. Not just a title, but a mission. She's turning conversations into change and doing it across borders, cultures, and communities. Even her public appearances carry that balance. Carefully curated, but never fake. One day she's stepping out of a sleek Bentley state limousine for a royal event. The next, she's behind the wheel of her Audi Q7, doing the school run like any other mom. And both looks tell a story. Because every detail, even her choice of car, sends a message. Insiders say she's now looking into electric rides like the Jaguar I-Pace, not just to stay trendy, but as a subtle nod to King Charles's green agenda. She's not just going along with the shift, she's leading it. And the latest buzz? She's reportedly interested in a custom electric Bentley for future state duties. That move? Pure Catherine, blending timeless luxury with forward-thinking sustainability. But beyond the headlines and the optics, her real power lies inside the palace. She's the steady hand, the calm voice, the one who keeps William grounded when the pressure hits. She's not just shaping the crown, she's shaping her children. At public events, you'll often see Catherine leaning down, whispering soft words to Charlotte, helping her stand tall in the spotlight. Even little Louis, full of wild energy, watches her carefully. He mirrors her calm, picking up her grace without even realizing it. But it's not just the kids. Charles depends on her, not just as family, but as a trusted ally in his vision for a modern monarchy. Their bond runs deep, strengthened by years of shared struggles behind closed doors. And at the Vatican, it was undeniable. When Charles spoke about her, it wasn't just royal praise. It was a father's love, mixed with a king's clarity. He knows she's ready, because leadership isn't always loud. Sometimes it shows up in the smallest moments. Friends say Catherine keeps a private journal, filled with handwritten thoughts, milestones from the kids, campaign ideas, flashes of inspiration. She'll sketch out plans for future engagements herself, mixing strategy with soul. Every gesture matters. Like her decision to ride in a Range Rover during recovery, valuing privacy over prestige, or baking her kids' birthday cakes herself, even while the cameras are outside. That's where her real power lives, in her ability to stay grounded in a life built for spectacle. Now, the Vatican Pact has opened a door. There's talk of Catherine leading interfaith dialogues, representing compassion on a global stage. Some insiders are whispering about a solo return to the Vatican, a moment that would solidify her role as the Unity Monarch. Even her transportation may mark this shift. That rumored electric Bentley isn't just about style. It's a symbol of a cleaner, kinder monarchy, one that looks forward without forgetting where it came from. Catherine isn't rewriting the rulebook with noise or rebellion. She's doing it with intention and heart. And she's proving something the world needs to hear. Real change doesn't have to scream to shake the world. Catherine's journey as the Unity Monarch is only just beginning, and the world is watching, holding its breath. After that historic moment in the Vatican, blessed by both King Charles and Pope Leo XIV, her role has transformed. She's no longer just the princess in pearls and photo ops. She's become a living symbol of hope, a bridge between centuries of royal tradition and a world in desperate need of healing. So what happens next? This isn't about glittering crowns or choreographed waves from palace balconies. This is about a woman reshaping royalty from the inside out. carrying the pressure of legacy on one shoulder and the heartbeat of humanity on the other. Her influence reaches far beyond Buckingham's walls. With every quiet act of compassion, every cause she champions, Catherine is redefining what it means to lead in the 21st century. She's doing it without theatrics. Just quiet power, fierce grace, and a vision that even the most seasoned insiders are calling once in a generation. And her future? It's wide open. A blank canvas, one filled with courage, purpose, and the kind of strength that doesn't need to shout to be felt. So what do you think Catherine's next move should be? Should she return to the Vatican solo, lead interfaith peace talks, or blaze a new path entirely? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you want more deep dives like this.